Hey guys, this is your video for this Tuesday. So you're already doing task 1, which is good. This is the video for the instructions. Your second task is to work on the bell work question and the attendance question. Now realize that is still optional. I did the first one with you on there, so when you get to it, you'll see that you're going to be breaking down these 3 words. Now these 3 words have to do, well, these are all different types of rocks and they have to deal with the rock cycle. Okay, so the first word that you have to break down is the one that I did with you, which is igneous rocks. And igneous rocks, if we break down this word, we see igni. Okay, that base, other words that sound like igneous would be like ignite. And whenever you ignite something, it means that you light it on fire, okay? And then us means made of. So igneous means fire made of. So igneous rocks are rocks that are made by fire. In fact, most of the times you'll find igneous rocks like around volcanoes and things like that because volcanoes are, as we know, very hot and fiery. Metamorphic rocks, okay, are rocks that metamorphosis into something else. So metamorphosis, that word, we've talked about caterpillars and butterflies. Caterpillars turn into butterflies, right? They metamorphose into butterflies. And so what metamorphosis means is that it changes. And metamorphic rocks are just that. They are rocks that have changed in some way because of heat and pressure. Oftentimes, metamorphic rocks are sedimentary rocks that have been fused together, pressed, and changed and metamorphosed into something much stronger and harder. Sedimentary rocks, if we break down this word, sediments are things that, I mean, if you think about like a fish bowl, okay, there's sediments at the bottom of that fish bowl, such as the rocks and the gravel and the fish poop and everything that floats down to the bottom of the fish bowl, all right? So sediments can be living things or non-living things. They could be rocks and pebbles, or they could be pieces of poop. They could be dead animals. They could be dead leaves, okay? So sedimentary rocks are rocks that are made up of sediments. And sedimentary rocks, I know that a lot of you are really excited to maybe learn about dinosaurs and fossils. Sedimentary rocks are the rocks that house those, or they contain those fossils. Igneous rocks, rocks made by fire, would not, because they are made by fire, and so they would burn away any kind of fossils that would be present. Metamorphic rocks, they would kind of disfigure the fossils. So we would, if we saw a fossil in a metamorphic rock, it would be very probably broken apart or misshapen in some way, and we really just don't find fossils in metamorphic rocks. But in sedimentary rocks, we sure do. Okay, so that is your bell work question for today. Task 3, CK12, should take you about 20 minutes, and the lab today, if you choose that option, should take you about an hour. 1 hour. Okay, so CK12, you're going to be reading about the rock cycle process and how these 3 types of rocks can turn into each other. And it's not always, you know, in a specific order. So it's called a rock cycle. The lab, on CK12, you're going to be answering those practice questions again, which is in that little box with the brain on it, or the head on it. The lab should take you about an hour, and the reason why is because it might take you 45 minutes, but it might take you an hour just because you kind of have to round up some materials, and it does take some time. But I do think that it is super fun. So the lab, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making these 3 types of rocks, and you're going to be, you know, making the rock cycle happen. It's going to be a model of the rock cycle. So you are going to take sedimentary type rocks and turn them into metamorphic type rocks, and then igneous rocks. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. I've posted on that assignment multiple links to YouTube videos that have, you know, people actually doing this lab, and they've used materials such as jelly beans or starburst or even crowns. Okay, so basically what you do is you start with little pieces of jelly beans or starbursts or crowns, and I would probably use crowns because I don't have jelly beans and starbursts at my house, but maybe you do. I do have broken crowns though. So if we're talking about making a sedimentary rock, we're going to start with different sediments. Okay, so we're going to break apart little pieces of the jelly beans or pieces of the starburst, or we're going to scrape off some pieces of the crowns. And then we are going to turn that sedimentary rock, okay, those sediments that we kind of fuse together, pack together, okay, we're going to metamorphose them into metamorphic rocks by using the heat of your hands and pressure from your arms, okay, and your palms. You'll have those materials kind of like in a tinfoil type thing, and you're going to press them together to make them into a metamorphic rock. And it's going to take you a minute to do this, all right? And then lastly, you're going to be turning that metamorphic rock that you made into an igneous rock. And you're going to do that by using a pot on your stove. Now, you do need an adult present for this, okay? I did say that. Yes, I did. Okay, I don't want you just using the stove by yourself, especially if you're not accustomed to using the stove by yourself. Okay, but you're going to take that little tinfoil packet, you're going to put it in the pot on the stove. Try to make sure that the edges are kind of curled up into a little bowl shape, so that way you're not spilling out jelly beans or crowns into the actual pot itself. We only want the tinfoil touching the pot, because I don't think you want burnt crowns smell floating throughout your house when the crowns would inevitably burn on that in that pot. Okay, but you're going to let it sit in there for a few minutes, let it melt, and then you're going to take it out, maybe with tongs or something, and let it completely cool. And whenever you open it up, you'll see that you have something totally different from that first sedimentary rock that you made, and even the metamorphic rock that you made. Okay, the igneous rock should be kind of a mix of all of the colors of the things that you used, and it should all be one piece again. Okay, so the metamorphic rock, it was different from the sedimentary rock because we would see that the pieces started to kind of fuse together. It was a much more solid rock than the sedimentary rock. Now, the sedimentary rock was honestly probably not that different than the sediments. Okay, so that is what you're going to be doing today. CK12 should take you about 20 minutes. The lab might take you about an hour. It just depends on if you want to get it done quickly or if you want to do something maybe a little bit more fun today. All right, reach out to me via email if you have any questions, or you can also jump on that Google Hangouts meet that teachers have for office hours. And I will see you on Thursday this week.